Not too bad.
Hey, morning everybody. We got a couple things to do this morning yet, and we're gonna do them real quick. But I got a dentist appointment this afternoon, and then the bitch ass state inspector is coming to check something that they don't know about. So they're trying to yell at me for something with my plate cooler water going into this tank here, and I was questioning them because it's already set up and it's been like that for a couple years, and they didn't know the answer to any of my questions, even though they're the inspector. So they got to come back today now, and supervisor or something's gonna look at it so they can learn to do their fucking job. But that's none of my business. I know I said bitch ass inspector. It's not that I have anything against the inspectors, they got a job to do or whatever, but when they're considering marking something down for me as wrong, and they tell me, well, I think this is wrong, so I'm going to mark it down, and I question it, and for explanation of why it's wrong or why it should be this way instead of the way it is, and then she couldn't tell me. So for the plate cooler water, she thought the water going into that tank, that the line was too low, that if the tank filled up it would backflow, which it wouldn't because it's filled up before. So I was questioning that, and I'm like, well, where does it need to be? And she's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, how are you going to tell me it's wrong if you don't know where it's supposed to be? So it's not that I have anything against them. It's just, if you're going to tell me something's wrong, you should know why it's wrong. You can't just guess. Like, it's your job to be the inspector. Tell me what's wrong, right or wrong, so that I can make it right, so to make you happy, basically. So that's why I did a bitch ass inspector. As I'm walking through the milk house, just thought I'd show this. This is first number there is butterfat, then protein, then other solids, and then average cell count for the month, and then CFU. That's like how dirty my equipment is, which under 21 is acceptable, so 10 is a good number. But that's the averages starting out. So I'm guessing the inspector was here to look at this thing and figure out what I need to do. They must have showed up within a half hour that I was at the dentist, so I didn't get to even talk to them. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is. But as you can tell, it's later now based off of the darkness. Well, that transition slide. We had a pretty nice sunset here tonight. But I got to do a little bit of bedding in both the barns, and then we're going to start on chores. But so I'll show kind of my bedding process and what I use for bedding, why I use it, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so this here is the bedding cart. It's a old feed cart converted to handle a little bit more volume of bedding with just some plywood sides on it. But so first step is to throw some straw down from this hole. I got a bunch of straw upstairs, chopped straw. I would fill up the cart like this, and then I would take it out there and spread it around with the fork, obviously. And then as far as in here, since I only milk in here, the cows are only in here for about an hour and a half, 2 hours max, twice a day, just enough to bring them in, milk them, scrape the freestall and feed out there, and then send them back out. So they're really not in here that much. But the thing is, they like to lay down in here either before or after they get milked, and you know, moving them in and moving them out, that's when they like to, you know, defecate, you know, urinate, technical terms for everyone else. They like to shit and piss in here. So you get really dirty cows, and it's really frustrating to milk cows when they piss in a stall or whatever and then lay down in it. So that's why I spread the straw out. Rather than just lime. I tried just lime for a while, and it just doesn't soak up anything like the straw does. So that's why you spread straw out, because it actually absorbs some of the moisture and whatnot. So we're going to go through and bed all the stalls here. There's 58 of them, and then a little bit on the walkway just to take some of the moisture out, and then that'll be it. Then it'll be nice and dry for them to come in, and it'll keep them dry and clean for milking and make my life easier. Just like that, magically bedded. So basically I go through and just pitch a little bit into each stall, and now it'll be nice and clean and dry for the cows to come in and not get themselves completely dirty. So that's how I handle all my bedding, into that cart and pitched out by hand. So everything by hand on the bedding side. One full cart will do the milking tie stall barn in here, and about 2 carts will do the whole freestall barn. And I do it when it needs it, and that's about it. There's really no schedule, just whenever it needs to get done, it gets done. If you want to see how I clean this barn with the barn cleaner and whatnot, I did make a video on that, and I'm going to link it down in the description. But other than that, that's it for today.
Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, rep the set, gotta rep the set, chase a chick, never chase a bitch.